What's good, YouTube, man? For Last Speaks. Back real quick, man. Listen, as y'all know, I don't typically even, comment on the LA Lakers or anything like that. It's like, I'm a Philadelphia 76ers fan, you know what I mean? And no, I do watch pretty much, I keep track of the whole league and all that. It's just, the Lakers, I mean, they just one of them franchises along with the Boston Celtics that I hope just pretty much don't freaking win anything. You know, I'm tired of these two franchises getting the best players all the time. You know, have the stacking the deck against everybody. The Lakers seem like every generation they find a way to get either the best player in the league or somebody that's like right there next to it. You know what I mean? I couldn't stand when they got Shaq. You know what I mean? Kobe, I didn't know what the hell happened with the Kobe situation. The whole league didn't understand what he was. I knew what he was because I remember him, playing against. I remember him and Rip Hamilton going at it in high school. You know, I remember like Lord Marion going at it with Coachville, all those types of things. But the league didn't know what he was. They ended up getting him for Vlade Divac though. Like, whatever the case may be, man. But so the Lakers go out in a gentleman's sweep. A gentleman swept by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Led by Anthony Edwards and, the crew. I'm not surprised that happened. Number one, I think, the mismatch was there. And anytime you have two teams that they kind of go at it and there's a mismatch, I mean, it could go one of either ways. It could be either the advantages that the bigger team, which is Minnesota, has, can lead to the win, or it could go the advantages and maybe speed or something. So having a guy like Gobert can sometimes be the advantage, sometimes it could be the disadvantage. And in this situation, it was to their disadvantage. Cool, whatever. This was what got me, though. This is what got me. Was LeBron James, when asked about kind of, what happened, picking up Luka and, letting AD go, right? He says that, anytime you make a late season acquisition, right? He talks about basically in so many words, it takes time to build the chemistry and all of that. And at times we look good, at times we didn't. And then we somehow appeared to figure it out, blah, blah, blah. But ultimately what he's blaming it on the chemistry that came as a result of Luka coming late in the season. Now listen, don't get me wrong. This is very similar to the analysis that I get. I chalk it up kind of to that too, right? Because it's rare. I don't know of any team really in the history where you made that trade at the deadline for a significant player, like your second best or your best or that sort of thing. And then that team that year went on to win the title. Typically, it would be that next year, right, that they would be dangerous. Like, so the Lakers, I think, would be more dangerous next year because that way LeBron and Luka would have had, half a season together, and then they would have more time next year, and then maybe they add another piece or something like that. Really, particularly need to add a big, obviously, right? At least. So, that's my position on it. But my problem with LeBron saying that was I distinctly remember this dude on this podcast that he's doing with Steve Nash. Steve Nash brought up this very same issue where he says, people are saying that, you can't win, a team that makes a late season acquisition can't win or whatever. And LeBron kind of scoffed and laughed at it at the time. And he was talking about, how basketball is so easy and this and that, and that Luka plays the way he's trying to inspire the whole league to play and these young kids to play, and then he's talking all this little simpleton stuff about, if you're doubled, you see an open guy passing the ball, this and that. Basically talking about draw and pitch, and it's just more and more I'm trying to understand, like, what's up with dude, man? Like, he just don't give a damn. Bruh, just early, couple months ago, you were talking about how, it don't matter. Late season acquisition. You was clearly 100% with it. Now, that's your excuse? Come on, bruh. Man. And I tell you, I'm not even no Brian hater, man. I'm just real about the situation with him. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not putting him up there with Jordan. Him and Kobe is like this for me, for real. It's like he's not above no Kareem. For me, he's not above Tim Duncan. You know what I mean? Now, somebody want to argue as an individual player, is he better than Tim Duncan? I mean, I don't know. But see, basketball is not an individual thing. And guys crack me up with that. Like, sometimes they want to argue individual thing versus team thing. But then you want to say it's a team sport, right? So if it's a team sport, then the better player is the guy that knows how to work within a team, right? If it's a team sport. You understand what I'm saying? That's what gets me. But we want to argue individual players winning and stuff like that is a team thing. Yeah, but basketball in general, NBA basketball is a team sport, right? And then you argue, okay, he make players better. But then you're going to say he's better than a Tim Duncan who, within a team, was able to win more. It don't make sense to me. In other words, what I'm saying is, like, let's say you got player A and player B. Player A is a guy that goes into the basketball team, and realizing what they have to do to win, he'll actually sacrifice his game, meaning sacrifice his personal stats. You're not gonna be the guy leading the whole damn team in assists, rebounds, and points. He might sacrifice part of that because he knows he needs other players to kind of do that, so he can focus more on maybe something else like defense or whatever, because something's always going to be lacking if you're doing everything, right? And then you got player B who's not willing to sacrifice. He's going to keep his stats, and everybody else got to sacrifice their game. I don't see how an argument can be made that player A ain't really the better player, because there has to be points for the person that knows how to play within the team scheme in order to win, right? Because if the person didn't play that way, they would lose. So I don't get it. So for those reasons, not over Tim Duncan for me. Definitely not Kareem. I thought I just mentioned. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, he's over the guys at his age, but Steph Curry making it tough. I get, people are never going to say, Steph is better than him, because generally people guys that are under 6'4", you 6'3", 6'2", and stuff like that, people are just always going to say the taller players are better. It's just what they do. It's what we do in basketball for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Same thing with Iverson. People are always going to say Kobe was better. They just don't care. It's because he was taller, But eventually Kobe goes and he wins titles. So he clearly cleared Iverson, But it's just a certain bias with size that goes on, So there's that. I don't know. But it's amazing because if you think about it, I don't think Golden State, if they could do it all over again, if they had an opportunity, to start their franchise with LeBron or Steph, you think Golden State would take LeBron? I don't know, man. You gotta look at the fact that Golden State got a chance to do it again, and I don't know. So I don't know, man. Jones is deep. They got the same amount of chips. All the Stephs, None of them are like really questioned like a bubble or anything like that. And then he kind of beat LeBron for a number of them. Enjoying crazy when you look at it. He's done it with and without Kevin Durant at times. But all right, I get LeBron over Steph though. I guess, but I don't know. There's going to be an argument years later about who's the best of this particular generation, man. It really is. Both of them were had an argument, I think. So I don't know, man. I'm just not feeling like LeBron. Like, you just can't bring that up right now, man. You just can't do that, bruh. Weird to me. So that's all. I'll get with y'all later. Peace out.